Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Catherine and today's video is a teaching video. Actually, one of many teaching videos because this is a series on how to teach English online. Now, I've been a teacher or an ESL teacher for 3 years now. I've been with VIP Kid since March 2018, so it's crazy to think that it's almost been 3 years. Since then, I've added on a couple other companies like Powfish, which is very similar to VIP Kid as far as teaching goes, and OutSchool, which is not like any of them. But I have videos on all of those, so you can check those out if you want. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next teaching tip video. Today's video is all about pacing, how to pace in your classroom, how to be sure that you finish on time and hit all the objectives that the class asks for. My biggest tip for teaching online as far as pacing goes is I try to keep my slide number the same as my timer. So in every classroom there's going to be a little timer or something that tells the time and a PowerPoint, a little presentation that you're going to go through with your student. Now my biggest tip is I try to match the page number of the presentation with the timer. Okay, so if we're on minute 8, I make sure that we're on slide 8 or a little bit, or maybe slide 9 is okay. I try to be around slide 8. If I'm on slide 22 but my timer says 8, I know I'm going way too fast, this kid is way too smart, and we're gonna have a lot of extra time at the end, which you don't necessarily want. And vice versa. If you're on slide number 3 but you're on, you know, time 10, it says you've been in the classroom for 10 minutes and you're only on the 3rd slide out of 25 slides, you are very behind and you need to speed it up. So that's kind of what I do. But I know if I'm on slide number 8 and my timer says it's been 8 minutes, I know I'm on a pretty good track where I'm gonna finish around the 25-minute mark. Most ESL companies, their classes are about 25 minutes. So you wanna finish within 25 minutes so you can say goodbye at the, you know, the last 10-15 seconds. Some slides there might only be 22 slides, and for that I just spend a lot of extra time on certain slides, usually slides that have more questions, or I try to help them out more with their pronunciation. I slow it down a little bit just to make sure that at the 25-minute mark we're wrapping up our lesson. Another thing to keep in mind is typically the last 2 slides of the PowerPoint or presentation is just like goodbye slides, kind of just nothing slides. Slides that you're gonna be like, oh, you got 7 stars today and a cat. Good job, you did a great job. And then we talk for a little bit. So that's also something to keep in mind when you're going through the slides. I usually keep the last minute to say goodbye. So around the 24-minute mark, I make sure that we're either singing the goodbye song, we are on the last page of some sort, and then I say, good job, you got 5 stars and you built a castle. See you next class, bye! And then we close out and then I do my feedback and blah blah blah. And also once you start to build regulars, you kind of know their pacing, you know, like some of them are kind of chatty and they like to talk, but they're very smart and they get the work done. So you know that you can spend a couple extra minutes at the beginning of class on the title screen on the first page just chatting and catching up for a little bit, and then you still know that you're gonna make it just in time to end class. And vice versa. There are the students that are struggling a little bit more, who don't always understand the concepts, and you know you're gonna spend a lot more time explaining things to them or teaching them, or, you know, modeling, or, you know, all the fun things on how to teach, which videos to come, so don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. But yes, with the students that struggle a little bit more, I make sure that like when class starts, okay? They got other things to do in 25 minutes. I have another class to teach for 25 minutes. We gotta get this stuff done in 25 minutes, okay? So I start right when it starts, right? I'll say, hello, how are you? Sam. By the way, I don't have well, I used to have a student named Sam. I don't have a student named Sam anymore. Sam is just my example kid name. But anyway, at the beginning of class, I'd be like, hello, Sam, how are you? He'll say, good. And then I might ask another question like, what did you do today? And he'll say, school. And then I'll say, great, read the title. And then we start. It's much nicer than that, but you get the gist. So that's how I keep on pace in all my ESL classes. It works very well for the most part, but there are sometimes that I am behind. Sometimes I do not finish all the slides, and that's not good, but it happens, right? I've probably had that happen maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 times. Not very much. I've taught thousands of classes at this point, so it's fine. It's okay. But What do you do when that happens? If that does happen, I get through as many slides as I possibly can. Usually the class is for 25 minutes and your next class starts, you know, at the next top or bottom of the hour. So you got 5 extra minutes to try and get through as many classes, or excuse me, as many slides as possible. So I get through as much as I can, but in the last minute, so at the 29 mark, I'm like, I'm so sorry we weren't able to get through all the slides. And then I'll just put what we missed in the feedback. Be like, sorry, we didn't get to this slide. You know, practice whatever the slide says. So if it's like pronouncing cat, be like, pronounce cat at home. Typically the only time that will happen when you don't finish all the slides is usually if the student is super late, which is not your fault. You just put in the feedback, don't be late, thanks. But nicer, not so sassy. And the other time is when they are just not understanding it. Either they're not understanding it or they don't want to be there and they are not paying attention to class, okay? It makes class 1,000 times harder. I don't know if you've had a student like that, but I think we all have, okay? And if you haven't, you will. I'm sorry. But when that happens, just try and get through as much as you possibly can. And again, just in the feedback, list out the things that the student needs to work on. You know, it was difficult to get through class today because Sam was not paying attention, okay? Or Sam was playing games, or Sam does not understand these concepts and, you know, might have to redo a lesson or two, which I don't think they ever do. But anyway, but that's what I do if we just cannot finish class. But to avoid that, say I'm in class, okay? And we're on slide number 10, but the timer says 15. That means I've been in class 15 minutes and I'm only on slide 10 and I got 15 more slides to go, but only 10 minutes left. Okay, I pick up the pace a little bit, right? So I hit the main points. I try to hurry it along while meeting the objections. So, you know, on slides that the student has to work out some things or fill in the blanks, we get through them. Sometimes I'll help them read for them. So say it's a passage and we just don't have enough time for the student to read the passage. I might read a page, they might read a smaller page just to get through it. And then he'll answer the questions. And then on slides that he does understand, so say like they usually get their slides and they have like 5 words on them, like one, only, few, and, or, like something like that. Usually they get that pretty fast and you're like, okay, great, after they repeated it twice. So just stuff to like help it move it along. Those are my tips there. Hit the objectives. What? Hit the objectives. Make sure that they're answering the questions, but if you don't have to spend a lot of time on it, don't. Move on. It's important to get through all the objectives, all the slides, while still allowing the student to answer questions and stuff. So, in the objectives. How many times am I going to say that? I don't know. And on the flip side, there are the students that are extremely smart, that understand everything and just want to like zoom through everything, like talk really fast and get through it. So when that happens, I slow us down, okay? So say we are on slide 15, but the timer says 5, meaning it's only been 5 minutes and we're already on slide 15. I slow it way down, okay? I talk with them, I extend, which I'm gonna have a whole video on extending, so watch that. Definitely slow it down. I'll ask them questions. We might play random games throughout, because ideally you do not want to be at the end of all the slides and still have 10 minutes left. That's really awkward. It's not fun. Avoid it at all costs. So try and slow things down while you're going through the slides. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go to previous slides, but I would definitely slow down the next slides that you have coming. And again, really extend, ask them more questions, play more games with them to really help them understand the concepts, but take up some time so that that timer can catch up to the same number that your page is on. So that's what I do there. And then usually if it's like 22 minutes left, 21, 22, 23 minutes, around that time frame, I find it's okay to just go to the last slide. On VIP Kid, there's a blank page and I let them draw. I say, draw a cat or an apple or whatever we learned, and they'll draw it and they'll have fun. They also like to play games. They love tic-tac-toe. I don't know if you play tic-tac-toe with your students, but they freaking love it, okay? And they definitely ask for it every class after that. So maybe be careful with that one. But before we play tic-tac-toe, I try to do more educational stuff. You know, something that we learned, or I might tell them to write out a word that we learned. Like if we are spelling the word apple, I'll just write A and then P-P-L-E. 4. Took a second. 4 blanks for them to write apple themselves, and we'll just practice writing and stuff. I try to keep whatever we're our extracurriculars on that white page. I try to keep it about the lesson or similar to the lesson, just so it's all coherent, no? In line? I don't know. I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but you get what I'm saying. The last like 30 seconds, I'll go to the goodbye page. I always draw a heart. I draw a heart, I give them their 5 stars, I show them their award, say, look, you got a castle, you made a castle, congrats, and you got 5 stars, you did a great job, and I'll see you in our next lesson, bye. And then they're like, bye, and then I fill out this stuff and move on with my life. If you're a new ESL teacher, I hope that helped you as far as pacing goes in an ESL classroom. Those are my tips and tricks. That's what I do when I teach. If you're applying to companies, I work for VIP Kid and Powfish. Both of those links are in the description. They are referral links, so I really appreciate it when you use my referral links. It helps the channel go on and it helps me live. And if you don't like those, I am coming out with a guide on all the different teaching ESL companies, because trust me, there are hundreds, possibly thousands. Not that many, but there are a lot, okay? There are a lot than those, like, 2. Keep an eye out for that. I'll put it in the comment section below. And if you'd like to go more in depth with pacing, I really recommend Nancy Taylor's course, Teaching ESL Online. It's a really awesome course. Definitely check it out. It is also in the description below. It's also an affiliate link, so thanks for supporting your girl. It means the world to me. So yeah, if you have any questions, drop them below, and I'll see you in the next video when we talk about something else teaching related. So don't forget to subscribe. What? Don't forget to subscribe. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.